Hey, this is Rick. Aren't we seeing interesting times right now? It's getting better than ever. In 2011, on a day toward the end of March, I went to bed with Bitcoin's exchange rate at 16. When I woke up, it was 26. I never thought I'd see such a meteoric rise again in my life until today. When I went to bed yesterday, Bitcoin Cash was at about 1600. When I woke up, it had been at 2600. Adjusting over the day with price discovery just as Bitcoin did in 2011, but I didn't think I would see this again. What's happening now is the most Pyrrhic victory I've seen in a very long time. The Pyrrhus victory was in ancient Greece, when a commander won such a costly victory that it cannot be characterized as anything but a total defeat, even though that commander technically defeated the opposing forces. In defeating the 2x part of the SegWit 2x New York Agreement, the people who absolutely didn't want 2 megabyte Bitcoin blocks made absolutely clear that there will be no on-chain scaling on the legacy Bitcoin chain. And that's the thing. There had been hope that this would actually work. There had been hope that even with the kludges and ugly code of SegWit and whatnot, there would still be on-chain scaling. That hope was crushed decisively. And once that hope was gone, everybody moved like almost overnight with an enormous momentum to Bitcoin Cash. It was like the biggest forks, the biggest successful forks you have seen in open source history. Once it was final that if we want to scale Bitcoin on-chain, then this is what we need to do. There is no other option. Then that's where everybody went at once. And as a result, you can no longer trade your legacy Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash. The exits aren't crowded, they're clogged. People are paying hundreds of dollars to get into the sparse transactions still taking place, since miners have also moved to Bitcoin Cash. The blocks aren't even coming at the rate they used to. The transaction backlog is at 140,000 transactions trying to sell their Bitcoin legacy and move into Bitcoin Cash. Genesis has halted trading. Shapeshift has halted trading. The train has already left the station. It is no longer possible to exit Bitcoin legacy in hopes of getting onto the Bitcoin Cash in time. And this is extraordinary. This is quite extraordinary. This is what happened when Blockstream told the entire ecosystem that ecosystem were enemies, and basically went, as somebody said on Twitter, I don't remember whom, went on a survivalist jihad against everybody who didn't do their bidding. At some point the ecosystem moves on, and that happened this weekend. There's still a lot of things to do, of course. I mean, at this point, all merchants are retooling code like crazy. I'm retooling code like crazy. I'm rewriting swarm ops for Bitcoin Cash. The entire ecosystem is retooling, but it's going to go pretty quick. You're going to see a pretty large amount of pretty big announcements pretty soon. Because if the merchants aren't retooling right now, they're not doing their job. And they're pretty successful merchants so far, which means that they're making good decisions. I also took the opportunity to contribute a little bit of my own experience in building large-scale movements, because we were already seeing a little bit of friction in terms of how we make decisions in the Bitcoin Cash community. And what I added to this was simply the swarm-wise dispute resolution methods. The swarm methodology at its core just say that everybody is free to take an initiative, everybody is free to follow, but nobody is free to tell anybody else what to do, what initiative to take, not follow, or follow. And it really scales extremely well. It scales to tens of thousands of people when you are saying that we don't make collective decisions. The collective decisions we make are an organic result of people choosing voluntarily to follow initiatives they like. It is extremely powerful. And I describe more about that in my book Swarmwise. So, yeah, I'm looking at charts here. We're entering popcorn territory. This is gonna be fun. Like when I first saw the SegWit 2x, the 2x part of the SegWit 2x agreement cancelled, I was really, really angry. But I believe that might have triggered an avalanche of good things to come in the very near future. And it's going to be interesting. Cheers.